Robert Hooke was an English scientist and polymath who lived during the 17th century. He made significant contributions to the fields of physics, biology, and architecture, and is widely considered to be one of the most important figures of the scientific revolution. Hooke was born in 1635 in the town of Freshwater, on the Isle of Wight, England. He was the son of a church minister, and grew up in a religious household. Hooke was a sickly child and was educated at home by his father. Despite his poor health, Hooke had a passion for science and mathematics from a young age. In 1653, Hooke moved to London to attend Oxford University. At Oxford, Hooke studied mathematics, physics, and astronomy under some of the most renowned scientists of the time, such as Christopher Wren and Robert Boyle. Hooke's talents in mathematics and science quickly became apparent, and he was appointed as a Fellow of the Royal Society in 1663. Hooke's most significant contribution to science was his work on the properties of matter. He is best known for his book Micrographia, which was published in 1665. In this book, Hooke used a microscope to study the structure of various objects, including insects and plants. He observed that the structure of these objects was made up of small repeating units, which he called cells. This was the first time that cells had been observed and described, and Hooke's work laid the foundation for the field of cell biology. In addition to his work on cells, Hooke also made significant contributions to the fields of physics and architecture. He proposed that all matter is made up of small particles that are in motion, and that these particles are responsible for the properties of matter. This idea was later developed by Isaac Newton, and is now known as the kinetic theory of matter. Hooke also studied the properties of light and color, and proposed that light is made up of small particles that are in motion. Hooke's work in architecture was also significant. He was appointed as the surveyor of the City of London in 1666, and was responsible for rebuilding the city after the Great Fire of London in 1666. Hooke designed many of the buildings that were built during this time, and his work had a significant influence on the architecture of the city. Hooke's life was not without controversy. He had a difficult personality, and was known for being argumentative and prickly. He also had a tendency to take credit for the work of others, which led to conflicts with other scientists of his time. Despite these conflicts, Hooke's contributions to science and architecture were recognized during his lifetime, and he was elected as a Fellow of the Royal Society multiple times. Hooke died in London in 1703 at the age of 68. His death was not widely mourned, as he had been suffering from poor health for many years. Despite this, Hooke's legacy lived on after his death. His work on the properties of matter and the structure of cells was continued by other scientists, and his ideas about the nature of light and color were developed by Isaac Newton and others. Hooke's work in architecture also had a lasting impact on the City of London. Robert Hooke was a brilliant and influential scientist and polymath who made significant contributions to the fields of physics, biology, and architecture. He was the first to observe and describe the structure of cells, which laid the foundation for the field of cell biology. His ideas about the properties of matter and the nature of light and color were ahead of their time, and were later developed by other scientists. Hooke's work in architecture also had a lasting impact on the City of London. Despite